Welcome, everybody, to another live edition of Our Man's Night. I'm your host, Jay. Thank you guys so much for being here, again, as usual. And thank you guys so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and whatnot to listen to these very, I believe, highly educated podcasts. It's good to see you guys. Let's go ahead and get in the chat. I said this before we got on the air to everybody. Welcoming everybody. So, yeah, absolutely. And, of course, this podcast wouldn't be what it is today, obviously, if it wasn't for all of you that are here and showing your support and all that. So thank you guys so much for doing that. I do appreciate it. And, of course, as always, our good friend Curtis is in the chat. What's going on, Curtis? How you doing, my friend? Thank you again so much for being here, as usual, and watching this where I would consider a very highly educated or educational video, if you get my drift. But anyways, thank you so much, Curtis, for being here. Much love and respect to you over there in Kansas. With that being said, let's going to go ahead and talk about the topic as you see in the description. Now, what are we talking about? Well, actually, this kind of ties into what we were talking about last Wednesday. Of course, if you guys have legal issues going on, whether it's inside prison currently or even on the outs, this information is for both of you guys. All right. And then, so this information is crucial for you guys to listen to. And again, as always, there's a lot of crucial and important information to get out tonight. So there's a lot to digest. So please, with all due respect, please take notes if need be. That way you can refer to this stuff if possible. But I do, guys, keep in mind, thank you, Curtis. I do have some information I want to share with you guys before we get into the topic here tonight. I'm going to put that on the screen now just so you guys can understand and clarify that I'm saying what I'm saying and facts are facts and, lies are lies. So here's that first piece of information for you guys. Take it as you may, and this is so true. So here it is. Knowledge is power, as you guys can see there. I want to go ahead and read this disclaimer so you guys can all understand that what I'm saying and teaching you guys tonight is not coming from me as a whole, from an attorney perspective, but it's coming from, other people giving us this advice and, of course, my experience. Stand by 1 second, Tammy. Stand by. And I can see you in here. Just give me 1 second. It says this, guys. The information provided for educational and entertainment purposes only, okay, and should not be construed as legal advice, all right? We can only give out this advice when it comes to helping and educating the masses, all right? So it's not legal advice. We are not lawyers, absolutely not. And nothing in this content creates an attorney/client relationship. So before we go any further, take notes, all right, guys? For legal advice or assistance, please consult a licensed attorney. All right. So do what you may with this information. It's very highly important. All right. With that being said, let's get our co-host Tammy in here on the show. How's it going, Tammy? How you doing? Hi, Tammy. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there, doing best I can. We made it to another Friday.
Exactly. That's what I said today. I was like, I'm out.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been a mess this week.
So let's go ahead and see what Curtis had to say in the chat. Our good friend Curtis said this. Well, first of all, I don't think my case there's anything I really can do. I think they covered her basis really well with me and people like me, and it went through the charges I've been through. Yeah, I get it, Curtis, but we're just, this is not just for you, I guess, in a nutshell. It's for everybody that are dealing with some type of negativity, if you will, when it comes to our system as a whole. But keep in mind, we're just here to help. But thanks for the comment. I appreciate it. And our good friend, co-host Tammy said this, welcome everyone, sending love and light to everyone. Absolutely. That's the best comment I like out of all of them. So absolutely true. But anyways, so Tammy, before we get into the data, as always, I'm going to ask you, do you think this information that we're sharing tonight is crucial?
Yes, information I wish I would have had a long time ago, or that I could have provided Rick with before we got back together. To him, years ago, it might have been to be able
Thank you, Trey. Thank you, Trey.
And I could not find the and I get an email that.
Yeah, we're all work together on this. Yep.
Yeah, we'll get it to you, Jay, and I will. So Curtis, you're right. It can't help you now, but let me say this: you can't help either. It can't help a lot of people that are already incarcerated, but we are living your incarcerated. There's a lot of nitpicking that goes on. There's a lot of harassment. There's a lot of things. And you may see some things. Even so, we want to make sure.
You're sorry. You're chopping up, Tammy. So yeah, people can't hear you very well.
And come back.
All right, guys. Sorry, Tammy. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, while we're waiting for Tammy to come back, and again, I do apologize, on her connection. You have to understand sometimes if like bad weather is in her area or something's going on, her connection's not the greatest, but just bear with us. She's going to fix it and do what we can on her end. All right, guys? So just go along with that. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and show you the first thing that I believe is very crucial for tonight. Again, if you missed the beginning intro, again, the disclaimer that I have here, guys, tonight is going to be important that you guys understand that. I don't know if a lot of you have seen the first portion of this podcast. Curtis said this real quick before we do that, but always, like I said, lots of love to everybody that comes in here and wants to show support for everyone that's going through what they are. Yeah, absolutely, Curtis, because again, you're not going to get this safe space or this help from anybody else. Because keep in mind, half society or this country is very judgmental, and they only see one side of the coin, and they don't care about the other side too much. So again, you're correct. Thank you, Curtis, for that comment. I appreciate it. So again, I want to get this out there in front of you so you guys understand. So here's that disclaimer again. Do what you may with it. All right. So we're going to go ahead and put that up. That way you guys can't say I'm, pretending to be an attorney, or anybody in this podcast is pretending to be an attorney, because again, we're not. This is just strictly for education, and as some like to call it, entertainment, which I'm not a big fan of that. So there you guys go. There's a disclaimer. All right. So we got some things that we want to share with you guys tonight on how to gather all this important information. I think Tammy is trying to do her best to come in here, so just bear with Tammy. If I see her or hear her come in here, I'll come back what I'm doing and get her in here. So, but we're going to go ahead and pursue with this podcast. Now, again, keep in mind, I don't have these pieces of information marked as number 1, number 2, number 3, because for some reason they didn't come up on the thing like this. So I'm going to have to figure out which ones are number 1, number 2. So if I go out of order, it's not deliberate. It is what it is. So I got some information I want to share with you guys. Vicky's in here. I want to shout out to Vicky. Hey, Vicky, how you doing? Thank you so much for being here. I hope this information on this podcast tonight will be helpful for you and your locked up loved one and what you got going on over there. It kind of goes in somewhat hand in hand of our last show talking about the writ. All right. So again, this is a kind of a prelude, if you will, of more documentation and information, what you need to do to gather, important information, evidence, and all that. All right. So I hope that helps with your situation with your locked up loved one. So thank you very much, Vicky. And then Curtis said this real quick. So you guys seeing all my text? I am, Curtis. You are getting a lot of your text. I'm getting them at least anyways. But I want to ask you, Curtis, while you're in here, can you hear and see me okay? Besides Tammy's issue, can you hear me? I just want to make sure there's nothing going on my end. So give me a yes or no in the chat, and that goes with everybody. Can you hear and see me okay? Let me know. All right. Let's go ahead and pursue further real quick. I got to figure out which piece of information I want to share with you guys. Trey said yes. Okay, thank you, Trey. Curtis, I'm just slow mobile device typist. All right, awesome. All right, and then Tammy's coming back in here. Vicky said yes. Thank you, Vicky, for that clarification. Thank you. All right, let's welcome our co-host back into the show.
We'll see how
it's a little bit, but your internet is really low. You got low bars.
No, it is.
That's what I figured.
No, if can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it just comes in and out sometimes.
Oh man.
No, you're good. No apologies needed. I get it. I've been there, done that. I hate it. But I like that new picture of you. That's something different.
It's like a painting. You know what I really, really hate is the fact that I pay like $140 just for internet.
That's a little high. I only pay $50. Huh? You can you repeat that again?
I pay. Oh, sorry. I said I'm just wired in.
Oh, so am I. That's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going through router, so I don't know.
So, just for shits and giggles for everybody here tonight, the information and whatnot, Tammy, that you sent me didn't come. I know you sent it to me in the email as number 1, number 2, number 3, but up on my screen here it didn't. So this is going to be fun. And I have them all.
Okay.
I know, and there's nothing I could have done about it. So I don't know which one to click first.
Let me go out.
I know you
have to bring me back in, and I'll be right back. I'm gonna try something.
Okay, no problem. No, you're good. It happened.
Just check. I'll be right back.
All right. So she's going to come back and try to fix her tech issue. Guys, I do apologize on this. But I do have some information I want to share with you guys. And you guys will be able to see it. Let me get the first thing up first. I think I'm going to show this one first just for tonight. Let me get the Man's Night logo out of the way. All right. This is what we call the Freedom of Information Act, or better known as FOIA. All right. This is information that's very crucial for all of us that are trying to fight our case. And, unfortunately, some people, believe it or not, in this country of ours right now, don't realize that you can actually request public records requests, and you can do these things. All right. Now, in some circumstances, I don't believe there's any cost involved. But in some cases, you might have to pay for a little, whatever their fee is to get this information. But nonetheless, it's public. You're entitled to it. So let me read this off real quick. The Freedom of Information Act, or better known as FOIA, is a U.S. federal law that grants the public the right to request access to records from any federal agency. Keep that in mind. I hope that helps. FOIA aims to assure transparency by requiring government agencies to disclose information. This is so true because obviously we need more of it. Moving on. Unless it falls under one of 9 exceptions, e.g. stands for example, national security, personal privacy, law enforcement. To make a FOIA request, individuals submit a formal request to the specific agency holding the records. Sometimes the courthouse has this. Sometimes your police departments have this, and so forth and yada yada. So pay attention here. Anyways, moving down the line, it says this: the agency must then respond either by providing the requested information or explaining why certain records are exempt from disclosure. All right. And that is a very true thing. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns with that so far? Put in the chat. Let me know. It says this: state FOIA requests refer to the process by which an individual or individuals can request access to public records from state or local government agencies. All right. Now, keep in mind, a great example for you. Unfortunately, my locked up loved one tried to do the same thing with me and my company that I work for, or business that I work for. Unfortunately, mine's not a public business or entity. Mine's a private. So my locked up loved one could not get this information. It got turned down nonetheless. And after she sent it, she realized that I was right. All right. Moving down the line, it says this: similar to the federal FOIA, but under state/specific laws, while the federal FOIA applies to federal agencies. Okay. Each state has its own versions of open records laws that govern public access to state and local government documents. I hope that helps. Take notes if need be, guys. Please do what you may with this information. Okay. These laws vary by state in terms of what information can be requested. All right. And then we'll go from there. All right. Let's go ahead and get Tammy back into the show. Welcome back, Tammy. How can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Let me finish this up real quick.
Better?
Yep. Yeah, a little bit. Your bars seem to be a little bit stronger.
Okay.
All right. It says here at the last paragraph, guys, says this: these laws vary by state in terms of what information can be requested. Response times and exemptions state for request allow citizens to seek transparency from government bodies. Absolutely. This includes state agencies, public universities, and local governments. All right. So I hope that information there does help for your guys' information, because again, I don't know where else you're going to get this. I've tried to see, and no, you're not going to get this kind of detail. So I hope you guys appreciate it. There it is on the screen. If you guys want any and all this information, guys, I can work out and email all this information to you if need be. So thank you guys so much for your time and patience. All right. Let's see. Trey Stone said, can Jay patch a phone call? I can have you call the studio unless have you tried to come up on the panel, Trey? Can you do that? Let's try. What I'll do, just bear with me for a second, and just 1 second, Trey. I'll figure this out. Let me get this comments going here. Curtis said this: some I do voice typing, but if I get too long, it won't show in my text. Interesting. That's odd. So far, I'm getting all your texts. Trey, so talk to text. You max out characters allowed, Curtis. Okay, that could be why we're not getting it. Sounding better, Tammy. And then Tammy said, or Trey said, Tammy even. Okay. All right. So I don't know. Tammy, did you want to go ahead and break off some information? That way I can get my studio phone and then go from there and see if I can get Trey to call to the studio line.
Just want to remind you a lot of information that we're going to just a lot of information to cover tonight.
Yes. There's a lot of stuff to digest.
Try and do it pretty. We'll have it to where we can send it to anybody that wants it. Let me put it out.
Sure.
The first slide, I don't know if you can get it up. But lawyers play a critical role.
All right, let me go back to let me stand by, Trey. It's such small print. I'm going to have to go through each and every one of these, and you're going to have to tell me if that's it or not. So I'm going to have to just go one by one, Tammy. Sorry.
Okay, let's see here.
So here's the first one.
I can do it a different one. Well, there you start at the other end of it, and
This one?
That's it. Yep, perfect.
Okay. All right, Tammy, go ahead and read off that real quick. And then what we're going to do is let me get back into the studio. I'm going to go ahead and get my studio phone so Trey can call in.
Go right ahead if you want to put it up. Criminal defense lawyers play a critical in gathering evidence to defend their clients against prosecution. The steps involved in evidence gathering and preparation following. Number 1 is the initial client interview. Objective is to understand the client's version of the event, back information, identify consequences, actions about the crime, timelines, potential witnesses, and other facts that could affect the case. This helps in assessing what evidence is needed. That is the first step. The next one will be number 2, Jay, and it'll say review of the prosecution's evidence discovery.
That's it?
You got it.
All right, cool.
Now let me sing.
All right, you're good. 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and say Trey's comment real quick. You're so far. You're so good. All right. Trey said this. I was just wondering if you could have Tammy call. I haven't anything real to say. Okay. I didn't know who or what you wanted to do, Trey, but I do have my studio phone here next to me. If you want to give me a buzz, did you want to go up on the live panel or did you want to go?
Is that what you're saying? Did you meet everyone here?
Oh, that could be it too. I'm not sure. Okay. Well, try that then, Tammy. Call into the studio and then I can go. Okay. All right. You got my number.
That way. That's fine with me. I can do
All
that.
right. No worries. I'll make it work out nonetheless. All right. Hey, Orphan, how you doing, Orphan? Thank you so much. Yeah. Call my studio line if that's what you want to do.
I think that I have it. Well, I hope. I don't know. What is it?
It's I'll just hold on a second here. Bear with me, guys. We're all over the place here. I just text you hi. That's the number. So text me with that number. Did you get it? All right, Trey. Thank you so much, guys, for that. All right, we're gonna go ahead and thank you, Trey. I appreciate you, my friend. All right. Let's see where we're at here. I'll come back to that. So Tammy's going to call the studio line, and once she gets up here, she's going to use the phone that way. And hopefully you guys be able to hear her better through that system instead of the way it is here. All right, so bear with me. She's calling right now. Hey, Tammy, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jay. Is that better for everybody?
Yeah.
I won't be able to see the messages, but...
That's okay. Yeah, I can hear you better. I'm going to go ahead and get in the chat and see if everybody else can hear. So Tammy's on the studio line now, guys, and I need to know if you guys can hear her okay. And go from there. So far, I haven't gotten a reply back. But anyways, can you see the screen though? What we're doing on the channel?
No, you can. Give me a minute. It'll take me a minute. I'll have to get in there.
All right, no worries. Curtis said this. There was no sorry guys. I apologize. There's going to be a time delay. Curtis said this. There was no defense in my case. Unfortunately, they had evidence that they needed with the way that the raw needed to be written. Law needed to be written. Okay, fair enough. Thank you so much. Orphan Annie said yes. So they can hear you better and better now. Much clearer, everybody's saying. So we're good to go.
Okay, so give me a second. This is going to make I don't know how I'm gonna. Hang on a second, Jay, because I'm gonna have to figure out how to. I'm not gonna be able to look at the chat right now.
No, you're good. I'll take care of the chat. I just want to make sure that we're doing the screen thing so you can see what's on.
I won't be able to see the screen right now either.
Okay. Well, that's why we make a good team here.
Okay.
We'll be all right.
We're good. So what were we on, number 2?
We were on number 2. Yes, we were on number 2, Tammy. Go ahead. All right.
Okay. I want to try and get through these. Number 2 is review of prosecution's evidence, what is also known as discovery.
Absolutely.
The objective for this is to analyze the evidence that the prosecution plans to use against the defendant. Action. The defense lawyer will request access to discovery materials, which may include police reports, witness statements, physical evidence like weapons, drugs, DNA, and things like that, lab reports, that'll be your DNA as well, such as forensic evidence. Also, surveillance footage, any other evidence the prosecution has. Strategy for that is to identify weaknesses, inconsistencies, or rights violations in the prosecution's case.
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead, Tammy.
Now, the next one is number 3, the independent investigation.
On it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Now, I do want to say all these things should be done at the very, very, very beginning, guys. Everything you can muster, everything you can think of, things that may not seem important are very important. Objective here is to gather exculpatory evidence or evidence that weakens the prosecution's case. Action. Visiting the crime scene to understand the physical layout and gather photographs, video footage, or measurements. Interviewing witnesses, including those the police may not have spoken to or those who may offer a different perspective. Obtaining surveillance footage or other third-party records, example, phone records, GPS data, where your cell phone was at the time of the crime. Things like that are very, very important. Hiring, and this is key, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, hiring private investigators if necessary to dig deeper into certain aspects of the case. And I would also recommend, if you're going to hire a PI, somebody who has a law background, that has been a detective or a police officer, somebody that has been in that field that knows how they think, what they think, those kind of things.
Absolutely.
The next slide is number 4, consulting with experts. The objective of this is to challenge the prosecution's evidence or present alternative theories. Action. The defense lawyer may retain experts in forensics, DNA, fingerprints, blood spatter, etc., ballistics for gun-related crimes, toxicology in cases involving drugs or alcohol, medical experts in cases involving injuries or death, psychological experts for determining the mental state of the defendant. These experts can offer opinions, challenge the reliability of the prosecution expert, or testify at trial. I promise you, in the case of the sheriff, they will more than likely get some kind of psychological expert on that stand on the defense side.
Yeah, probably.
Just like they did in the Menendez case. That's why that psychologist they were seeing, psychiatrist, was so key in their case. Number 5, legal motion. The objective is to exclude certain evidence or gain access to additional evidence.
Hey, hold on. Where's number 5 at? I'm missing number 5 somewhere. Hold on a minute. That's 7. One second. Okay, I got it. I was confused. I found it. Go ahead.
You're good. You're good. The objective is to exclude certain evidence or gain access to additional evidence. Actions, filing motions such as motions to suppress, to exclude evidence that was obtained illegally. Example, evidence found through an unlawful search and seizure. Motion
Sounds familiar. Sounds very familiar. Yeah.
To request evidence from prosecution or third parties that if it's not being provided. Motion in limine. You will see this a lot. Motion in limine is to prevent the jury from hearing certain prejudicial evidence, like where they will try and bring up something old that happened 20 or 30 years ago, or, in a different case, and they'll try and bring that up, and your attorney should put in a motion in limine to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Slide 6. It's developing alternative theories of the case.
Yes. Pay attention to this, guys, ladies and gentlemen. This is very crucial information. Please take notes if need be. If you're missing anything, the replay will be up here soon. Go ahead.
Objective: to present a narrative that casts doubt on the prosecution's theory of a crime. Remember, it's without a shadow of a doubt that they cannot convict. It has to be no doubt. Actions: after gathering and reviewing evidence, the defense lawyer develops possible defenses such as alibi, evidence that the defendant was somewhere else when the crime occurred, self-defense, evidence showing that the defendant acted in self-defense, mistaken identity, challenging the reliability of the witness identification.
That happened with me.
That happens a lot. Believe it or not, a lot of cases that happen. Lack of intent, proving that the defendant didn't have the intent required to commit the crime. And with that, Sheriff, that's very important because he's looking at the death penalty, the unaliving penalty, where he's at right now with the charges that he has. And if they can prove that he did not have the intent to do that until he saw that phone and snapped, that's going to be very crucial for his case as going forward. Slide 7 is cross-examination of witnesses.
Where is it here? Okay, 7. Go ahead. You're good.
Objective: to challenge the credibility of the prosecution's witnesses and evidence at trial. Action: during the trial, the defense lawyer will cross-examine witnesses to highlight inconsistencies or contradictions, expose biases or motives to lie, challenge the accuracy of recollections, especially in cases involving eyewitness testimony.
Yeah, see, and this is all crucial, and if I may, sorry, Tammy, I don't mean to interrupt, but I just wanted to let you guys know that, of course, obviously everybody's case dealing with this information here tonight, guys, is obviously different in some circumstances. Now, mine is nothing fancy or better than yours or vice versa. There's not one person better than. What I'm saying, though, is that there were so many mistakes and loopholes, guys, in my case, like my friend Curtis and so many other crap, that you have to understand that half of the stuff that we're reading off to you happened to me. Okay, like the eyewitness bullcrap. That's what leads to wrongful convictions and so many other unnecessary crap that happens within our system. If they would get off their butts, and again, this is just pure laziness. Everything you're seeing here, half of our investigators don't even do. They don't even do half of this stuff, and they're supposed to. So why do all these mistakes happen, guys? Is because, to me, my personal opinion, from my own experience and what I witnessed myself, was pure laziness. Pure laziness. And Tammy, last Wednesday, hit it on, and it comes down to, how much money you paying the attorney to do this work. That's also a major factor. So Tammy, thank you so much for that. Go ahead and let's go ahead and move on to the next slide.
Presenting defense evidence at trial, number 8.
Go ahead.
You have that one. Objective: to present a compelling case that raises reasonable doubt about the defendant's guilt. Action: the lawyer will introduce this evidence they've gathered, present expert testimony, and offer witnesses who support the defense's versions of events.
Yeah, and that part right there kind of reminds me of what's going on with your situation, Tammy, in a sense.
Yes, he never got. His attorney didn't even call witnesses anything.
Yeah.
Not one witness was subpoenaed.
Yeah. Imagine that.
And he hired a private eye a week and a half before trial.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to
week and a half, guys, after 6 years.
Yep. Number 9.
Of having the case. Just work it.
Yeah.
Number 9.
Go ahead. It's on the screen. Go ahead.
Negotiations. Objective: to achieve a favorable resolution if a full trial may not be the best option. Action: the defense lawyer will continue negotiating with the prosecution for plea deals, reduced charges, or alternative sentencing options based on the strength of the evidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sometimes, like, say you are actually guilty of a crime, it is your lawyer's job to do that negotiation to try and get some of the...
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good friend, Orphan Annie. Good for...
the last slide.
Yeah.
You did the knowledge is power, right? You did the...
I did, but I can put it back up there again, and also do the FOIA request thing again too.
No, you're good. I do want to read something to all of you guys because it kind of pertains to it. It's not something I sent you. It's very short, but I want to read something a comment that was made in another forum that really hit home with me, and I know it will all of you.
Okay.
And this is another person, third party talking. It's just that their opinion. I don't need to say where I got it or any of that because it's an opinion of a person.
Okay. Orphan Annie got in.
And I'm not going to. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Tammy. I do apologize on the time delay. Anyways, Orphan Annie said this in the comment, and then we're going to go ahead and let Tammy say her thing real quick. Orphan said, just like investigators properly investigated my husband's case and talked with us instead of no-show appointment, my husband would have had never been arrested, and we would not be suing now. Wow, that's and again, there's what more proof do you need right there in that comment right there from Orphan Annie? You know, it's another personal opinion, just lazy work. Obviously, it boils down to if they're not getting paid the big bucks, they're not going to do the big work. They're going to be lazy. They don't care about our freedom, our rights, or anything of that nature. And there's proof right there.
And this kind of goes in line with that. That's why I want to read it so bad. I want you to hear this, everybody. Somebody wrote this in a forum, like I said. It is my view that plea deals are inherently a subversion of justice. Since the system exists to penalize anyone who exercises their right to defend themselves in court by giving them disproportionate sentences.
Right.
The way they bypass juries allows for selective enforcement of unpopular laws against vulnerable populations, where jury nullification would otherwise keep prosecutors in check. The increase in workload for prosecutors, if plea deals were eliminated, would be a benefit, as it would force them, the prosecutors, to only pursue cases which are actually important and which have solid evidence rather than attempting to scare people into taking plea deals for cases which have poor evidence.
Wow. Yeah.
Is that not a wow moment?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, does everybody in the comment section agree with that? I mean, yeah. Orphan Annie said this: we are suing for malicious, prosecution and go to meditation next month. I think that's what it said. Wow. Well, I hope mediation. My bad. Thank you, Tammy.
That's okay.
But yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about right here, guys. And I wish her all the luck. Orphan Annie, keep us updated, of course, on it. You don't have to get too personal, obviously, but keep us updated on it nonetheless. And I do appreciate you sharing that information. And I hope you do win. It sounds like from what you've been telling us in the past, it looks like a good, positive thing for you. But anyways, nonetheless,
don't give in. If they don't hit what you guys want just from going through mediation with my ex-husband, he went through mediation against a big corporation,
Mhm.
and I was not able to be there with him, and he caved.
Oh,
And he took the money that they offered, but by the time the attorney fees came out, we got less than 10 grand, and he should have been walking away with six figures easily for what he went through.
well, I hope he does. I hope he
So
does. I mean,
just be very,
there's
very
no amount of
careful.
money that can either change or fix anything. I get that, but it's the principle. I understand. Again, that's wow.
Yeah, they will squeeze you if they can,
Oh, yeah.
if they have the money.
Uh,
Hatfield McCoy is asking what type of cases we were talking about.
yeah. It's up on the screen. Go ahead.
Generally speaking, most of these are more geared toward criminal, but you could also apply a lot of the same things to a civil case as in far as what you can do as being the defendant side of things, or even the plaintiff. If you have something you need to prove, because in civil it's more the plaintiff has to do a lot of work in there, whereas in a criminal case, the defendant, even though it should be the responsibility of the prosecutor in the case or the DA to present all the evidence, in a criminal case really is actually opposite. It seems like to me, everybody I've talked to, everything I've ever dealt with, it seems like defendants are having to defend themselves rather than
yes. And most
the state having to prove what they're saying.
Yeah,
or federal government.
in most, I say most, not all. So understand my words here, guys. In most situations, like Orphan Annie here in the comment section, she said we have to pay our lawyer 33% of settlement. Yeah, that's about right. Now, in some circumstances, it can be hire a lawyer depending on what it is. Understand that. Again, this is not lawyer advice. This is from experience and what I've been through, what my locked up loved one's been through, and so forth. But yeah, they have to get their cut. I know it's stupid, but that definitely have to get their cut. All right. So that's the reason why it's that, because the cost of living and everything else has gone up so damn ridiculous high. They got to meet their threshold so they can survive. So yeah, absolutely. So, but anyways, with that said, Curtis said real quick, and I'll let you get back in here, Tammy. Curtis said this: they are supposed to produce arrests that lead to convictions. Again, key word, supposed to. Supposed to, but they usually in your situation, my situation, not always. That's not always the case. They don't care. But yeah, go ahead, Tammy. Go ahead and say what you need to say there.
Oh, I was just that is a huge cut, Annie. But I've seen as high as 40% on some cases. So I mean, that's what we paid in Florida, 40%.
Yeah, see, it's even higher. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Welcome in, HRH. You're new here. I never seen you before, but thank you anyways. I appreciate you being here. She said, Orphan Annie definitely is a choice considering where we are. Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. HRH, that's a tongue twister. Can't say that 10 times fast. Again, somebody, Joanne Carl, you're new here. Never seen you before, but again, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. He or she, I think it's, I hope it's a he. Well, anyways, if I'm beating you up, I do apologize on that. Don't take it to heart. What kind of criminal case are we talking about? Well, again, Tammy hit on already. Basically, kind of any criminal case. It's just kind of over the place in a sense. We're just trying to inform or educate all of you when it comes to getting your proper paperwork and documents in order so you can, take care of whatever it is that you're taking care of. So this is just a pure educational type podcast for tonight. I hope that helps. And then Curtis said all cases. And Orphan Annie said this real quick. We are asking for a big payout to cover everything. Yeah, I would. I wouldn't sell for less. I mean, I understand that there's major cuts, but you got to start high and leave. Obviously, you got to leave some meat on the bone, if that makes any sense, because it's always going to be negotiations, and of course, the state's always going to try to win. But yeah, absolutely. Don't give in, don't give up, and always shoot for the stars. If you get my drift, you always want to start high. Go ahead, Tammy.
So in theory, this is more geared towards criminal cases, but you can use and apply
Right.
all the things that you yourself or whoever you're trying to help. You can use those techniques. You can use those guidelines for yourself to make sure that you're, if you have I'm not going to be nice, public pretender.
Yeah, they suck.
If you're assigned one,
they suck.
If you're assigned one, guys, this is a guideline of what they should be doing for you. And if they say, well, we can't afford a private investor, that is not your problem.
Right.
You were guaranteed a fair shake. And if that has to happen for you to get a fair shake, by goodness,
yeah, and you know,
ask for it.
And
push
you know what?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Push and push and push.
Right. And you know what's funny? There's no such thing as a fair handshake nowadays. I've been told that right in front of my face. Oh, we're going to give you a fair handshake.
Yeah.
We're going to give you a fair handshake. And they never do. They lie through their teeth. But yeah, absolutely.
You got to hold them accountable. They are there to help you.
Yeah.
It is not the other way around. You are not supposed to have to do this yourself.
Oh, I know. I get it. I get it.
Guaranteed by the Constitution to have assistance.
Yep.
And that's a lot of things that I try and tell people is that I learned from another advocate. He's a father rights group advocate, and I really, really like him.
Thank you, Trey, for doing that.
All the time.
Thank you, Trey, for doing that.
You don't work. The attorneys will come in and tell you, well, you should take the plea deal. You should do this. You should do that. Well, what are you doing? What are you doing? Listen, by the letter of the law, I have a right to defend myself. I want to see my discovery. I want to know what my discovery is. What did they say?
Right.
What were their statements?
Yeah.
What did they find? What are they saying they found? Because depending on what's going on, if you're out of the loop and you don't know,
they're supposed to tell you
then
those
how
things.
can you really defend yourself?
Right.
Because there may be a piece in there that you're missing.
Right, and
you can defend yourself.
Absolutely, Tammy, and they do that. I think deliberately they leave out a lot of stuff. You know, they left a lot of stuff in my case out. You know, so I had to do my own. Of course, this is after I got released and whatnot. I had to do my own private investigation. And man, did I find some interesting things that were not put into the case itself. It's amazing how, and it didn't cost me a damn dime to do a lot of it, to be honest with you. So it's amazing.
I'm seeing on here, Johan Carl.
Yep.
I see where you said, sure, we're talking about criminal cases in general, but what cases have people in chat been dealing with? We don't ever ask everybody what their particular situation is unless they're comfortable in sharing.
Yeah, I mean,
but I can tell you it's a big gamut of everything, everybody in our group. Some people don't have cases at all, and then others have dealt with capital murder. Some have dealt with assault crime. Some have dealt with
it all depends.
Drug-related crime, DWIs. It's a gamut of everything, to be honest with you. And this is what I would like to say.
Good job, Trey.
In saying that as well, keep in mind that we have people, and we're seeing more and more of it now with these death penalty cases, like the gentleman in Missouri that was put to unaliving by the state of Missouri, who was actually deemed to be innocent. We have seen it over and over again. We have seen cases where they've come back after unaliving somebody.
Thank you, Orphan. Tell your husband thank you. Sorry, Tammy.
Someone, and they didn't, and then they come back centuries later and say, hey, we found DNA, or we found the real culprit of such and such. So, I just want to put that out there. Some people are not even, guilty of the crime for which they took
No,
punishment.
and we've done a couple, at least that I know of, or as I have, anyways, a couple of podcasts, ladies and gentlemen, under that topic itself. When it comes to cases that people have been accused of but never did their cases, and that happens all the time. I mean, again, keep in mind, we just unalived.
More often than I ever knew.
Oh yeah, we just unalived somebody when there was evidence showing he didn't do it. I mean, it's a sad, sick world we live in, and we're getting rid of all these people and just unaliving people just because. In my personal opinion, I think a lot of it, whether the evidence is there or not, I think it's population control. To be honest with you. So yeah, but
Oh wow.
yeah, Orphan Annie did say, I wanted to give some clarification. Orphan, again, if she didn't hear me, Orphan Annie, thank you, and tell your husband thank you. I do very much appreciate it. That's awesome. So yeah, I totally understand, and thank you for listening. Anyways, I understand that you can't get in the chat too much because you are traveling, and I've got to keep your eyes on the road. Absolutely. Orphan said this. He said hi. Thank you so much. And tell him I said hi back. And Air Force One Heavy. These are interesting people. I've never seen you guys before, but again, no big deal. Thank you so much for being here. And he said, thank you, sir. Absolutely. So with that said, was there anything else you wanted to add real quick, Tammy?
Guys, just remember, if you're advocating or supporting someone who's going through a criminal case, you are a big voice. To all my veterans out there are groups out there for support. There are things that can be done for some veterans. They're amassing a lot of there's a lot of false accusation cases in the military world. I want to speak on that for a second. Mm-hmm. I've come across some groups. If you will do some searching, there's a lot of he said, she said, this one did this to me, this one did that to me crap going on. And growing up military my whole entire life, both my parents were in the Air Force One, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, Air Force. Hey, Tammy, real quick, Tammy. Sorry to cut you off again. Air Force One Heavy is Orphan Annie's husband. So I want you to both know there is a support system out there. I have located things. So Annie, get with me, and I'm going to send you what I do have. But I am telling you guys. You're welcome, Vicki.
There is no other best way to support your loved one than to be out there advocating, being their voice. It's not an easy job. It is not for the faint of heart. But I'll tell you what, my husband's a veteran, and
Good night, Vicki. Thank you so much for being here.
My world is veteran, and I can't. It kills me.
I know.
That you sacrifice your life for your country.
Yeah.
And your country cannot even give you a fair trial.
Thank you for your service.
It makes me absolutely sick.
Yep. Orphan Annie said he is a veteran who was injured in the line of duty. Tell him thank you for our service, or his service. Excuse me, my bad. But yeah, thank you so much. Any vets in here, we appreciate you. God bless you guys. Absolutely. Curtis also said it.
Vicki, you're just leaving us. Vicki, good night. We love you.
Yeah, good night.
Hang in there, girl.
Yeah, good night, Vicki. And keep us updated on your situation too, please. Orphan, excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself. Curtis said I'm an Army veteran. So Curtis is a veteran too. So give him a thanks for his service too, if you guys can, please. And Orphan Annie said we were at the VA today. Oh, okay. Thank you, Orphan. I appreciate that. I know I need to step up.
That's definitely my wheelhouse, and we love all of you, veteran or not, in our group. Mm-hmm. We think so much of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you just don't know how I feel. I can't even tell you all sometimes.
Yeah,
I get off of here and I cry.
I know, you guys are awesome.
You know,
I got so much much respect for veterans. Absolutely.
I love everybody in our group. I think we're so lucky, Jay. We have a great group of people here.
Yeah, absolutely. Trey Stone said this: many vets in prison. That breaks my heart, and it shouldn't be. They shouldn't be.
There are a lot. There's a higher rate of incidents among vets than there is civilians.
Yeah, Orphan said this. Love you. Orphan said this for both of us. Love you, Tammy and Jay. So Orphan said she loves. Thank you guys, man. You guys are awesome. This is how it should be. Curtis said, I think I'm moving to Texas or South Dakota. Oh, interesting. Why is that, Curtis? I wouldn't recommend Texas. Texas is too damn hard on felons. All right.
They're really, really hard on felons, and they will make your life miserable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very miserable.
Let's see here. Air Force One Heavy said this. That's a cool name. I am door service. I was an Army and Air Force. I guarded the president plane at one point in time. Well, that's awesome, man. Lucky you. Wow, that's so cool. Awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, anyways, for doing what you're doing. That's awesome. So before we go any further, I'm getting at the top of the hour. Let's see here. We have Trey Stone getting here. Cool Air Force One. Yeah, absolutely. That'd be awesome to see that. I'd like to be next to that thing. And Curtis said, awesome, my friend. Absolutely. So before we go, just for hindsight, in case you missed it at the beginning, I want to put this back up on the screen real quick, just for respect for all of you guys here for tonight. Let me get this out of the way first. Let me go back up in here and put this up real quick. Again, this is for your guys' information. If you missed it, it's here for a reason. Again, if you don't know how to do a FOIA request, here's how you do that. In some places, allow certain information and certain things don't. Again, if you guys want this information that you're seeing on the screen here tonight, your best bet is to make sure you do your due diligence and your homework, if you will, to make sure you have the proper information in front of you to do this. Otherwise, sometimes even your FOIA request is going to fail because certain states, have, like I said in here, certain states allow certain things and certain states don't. So make sure you do your homework. But there it is. If you want this, I can email it to you. All right, there's that. Again, and just for shits and giggles, before we bounce out of here, guys, for Man's Night, knowledge is power. Again, the information provided is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I can't stress that enough, and should not be construed as legal advice. Understand? We are not lawyers. Never said or claimed we were, and nothing in this nothing in this content creates an attorney/client relationship. All right. For legal advice or assistance, please consult a licensed attorney. And I want you guys to make sure that when I share all this information with you guys, it is being used for your own discretion and whatnot. All right, there you guys go. Orphan Annie gets in here and says, I want to move to Staten Island, New York, LOL. Well, I heard New York is interesting too in itself, but I couldn't live in New York, I don't think. It is what it is. Anyways, Orphan Annie said this, I miss the city. I'm more of a country kind of a guy. I like the city, but I prefer not to live in it, with all due respect to you guys. Curtis said this, I would die to help keep this country free. Absolutely. But you are obviously, Curtis, like me, you're starting to see that it's not really free anymore. Curtis said, I hate cities. Yeah, absolutely. And then Trey Stone said, Caspin asked Jay how you get interested in criminology. Where is that? Let me find it. Let me find it real quick.
I think you missed it out. It says Caspian C.
Let me.
How'd you get interested in criminology?
All right. Let me find it. I didn't even see it. I do apologize if you think I was ignoring you.
Above,
I found it. There it is. There it is. All right. There it is up on the screen. I do apologize, Caspian C. I hope I said your name right and didn't beat it up. Anyways, he said from Inside Out Network LLC, how did you get interested in criminology? Well, I wouldn't say I was really technically interested in it. It kind of just fell on my lap, if that makes sense. It was a calling, if you will, to do what I do here. I wouldn't consider myself a criminologist in that sense. I'm more of a prison activist, if you can understand that. And I advocate for all of our locked up loved ones in prison, even ones out. And I've been doing this for about 6 years plus, give or take some. So, yeah, I do appreciate your comment, though. Thanks very much for that. And but I don't consider criminology, quote unquote. It's more prison activist type stuff. I can see how it looks like that, though. So, but anyways, thank you so much for putting that up there. Let's see. Air Force One said this again. My oath never expires. Absolutely, and it should never. But it's funny, and I respect that. But how come, like police officers, and I'm not beating up police officers, but I'm just saying because you can just turn on YouTube and you can see all the corruption within these videos and whatnot. But how come some people can't honor and keep their oath? It's funny how some people can't keep it. Some can, some can't. But thank you very much for keeping yours. Much respect on that. Absolutely. And Curtis said me too. So yeah, Tammy, before we close for tonight, is there anything you want to say for a closing argument?
Basically, guys, we were raised under the belief that there was justice in the system.
Mm-hmm.
I have a TikTok screen name, and it's called Unjust Third.
Mm-hmm.
I have never been so disappointed.
Yeah, that's another statement.
And felt robbed of all the crap that I was brought up on. And my father was a police officer in the military and out. I had an uncle that was a sheriff. I've had other cops in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I've known judges. I've known lawyers. I've dealt with a lot of them, even criminal investigations division. There in Florida where I lived, I knew everybody that worked there, knew the sheriff, knew the city chief of police. I knew all of them, the judges, everybody. At that time, I had not been through all of this crap because I would have looked at all of them and said, how can you sleep at night? How do you? I mean, and I loved them as people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I knew them as people. I didn't know them in their wheelhouse of what they do.
Yeah.
Guys, you got to fight. You got to get knowledge, dig. Look it up. We have AI now. AI has different legal programs for AI now. Mm-hmm. Educate yourself in what you're going through so that you don't get screwed by the system.
Right.
It is not anything to say that there aren't good people in the system, but most of it is so broken that I don't even know how else you could do anything but to knock it down and build it over. It's like that house that the foundation is so broken. If you put up one more board or screw in one more screw or one nail, the whole damn thing's going to fall.
Absolutely.
I don't know how else to put it, guys. Just fight for yourself. Advocate as much as you can for yourself, your loved ones. I know it's scary. I know it's intimidating, but don't let them do that to you. Mm-hmm. It's like a bully. Do you put up with the crap or do you stand up for yourself and let them know? If they're going to bully you, something's coming back.
Well, and that's
correct. Hold them accountable.
Correct, and that's the thing I have a problem with. And then you get the taxpayers. Taxpayers have gotten in my chat and my feed and whatnot and bitched because I'm bitching about this, I'm bitching about that. Well, I'm sorry to say this. If you are tired, again, keep in mind, if you all are tired of paying taxes into this corrupt system, then guess what? Because every time they F up, you have to pay for their lawsuits. So basically, if you're a taxpayer, you're paying for Orphan Annie's lawsuit here soon. You have to pay for that. So you get your checkbook out and start writing, because at the end of the day, their mistakes is going to cost the taxpayers. So what I'm saying with this is don't sit here and hate on the messenger. Hate the corruption. It starts with them. They're the one causing all of our taxes going into unnecessary bullshit that doesn't need to be there. Absolutely. So my personal opinion, if you're a taxpayer like me and everybody in the chat, go down to your law offices and change the shit so you don't have to pay it no more. Number one, we said it before, I'll say it again, get rid of qualified immunity. That's a lot of the issues why these big government entities and government people that work in our offices are protected. All right. If you're tired of paying for their mistakes, do something about it. Don't bitch at me, bitch at them. That's how I look at it.
Vote against, try and get them to vote against, your senators. Mm-hmm. Qualified immunity has to be abolished.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no sense of having it.
It affects every single American.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Tammy, I just wanted to give a major shout out to you. I'm sorry for your connection issue on the live panel itself. I do hope it gets better, but it comes and goes. This stuff happens. These things are unscripted. It is what it is. So again, hopefully it'll be better in the next Wednesday show. But I just want to get on here, guys, and tell you all have a happy, good weekend. Stay safe, do what you got to do, live life, and don't let these corrupt politicians get under your skin. Stand up for your rights. And just like my co-host Tammy said, there it is. Hashtag stop hate speech. Absolutely. Get rid of it. There's no sense of having it because that shows your character and who you are as a whole. Why have hate in your heart and why spread it? It doesn't do a damn bit of good to spread hate. We got enough issues and problems in this country. We don't need that too. All right? It is.
And I want to make a comment. People need to stop throwing stones at glass houses. I promise you, if you open your closet door, there's a lot of stuff you don't want us to see.
Yeah, I know.
Stop the nitpicking, stop the name calling, stop the harassment. Cut it out. It's not good. It's not a good look, guys.
Well,
you don't know a person's story. You weren't there. Yeah. You don't know what they did or did not do.
Yeah.
You're not judge and jury. In my eyes, there's only one person that can judge a person.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is, you get these people.
It's right above.
I know.
Up there,
I know. I see it. I see it. I see it. That's the point I'm making here, guys. Tonight, you get these people in here that think they're so dang perfect, right as rain. White as a clean sheet, but underneath the bull crap, I bet their closet's full of skeletons in there. I'm sure
there are certain people in this life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to say it. I don't care.
Go ahead, Tim.
There are certain people. The people pointing the fingers the most are usually the people that have the dirtiest secrets.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad you said it because if not, I'd say it. I'm not afraid.
Don't make me hire a PI. You don't want me to do that because it will get ugly.
Well, yeah, absolutely. That's the ignorance. But Tammy, you can see the ignorance tonight. The ignorance is.
A hater.
Yeah, the ignorance.
Go somewhere else.
The ignorance is thick, no matter what happens or where you go. See, this is the problem. People are not going to like the truth. I've said the truth doesn't sell. It'll never bring in any revenue. Drama and bull crap like these people are in the chat bringing. Some of them in the chat are bringing sells. There's money in it. And this is what they do, and again, keep in mind, they're not going to stop because it makes them feel good. It's a, dopamine in your brain to be the way you are towards people. In a sense, they get off on it. They get paid to do this. That's what they do. That's their genre. Unfortunately, it is what it is. We're going to have it. Not everybody's going to be a fan of what we're doing here. And that's exactly what I want. Education's key. And in my personal opinion, if you don't want to get educated, then I don't think you have any right to say uneducated things if you're not. See, that's the problem. I will debate people with an education, not people that obviously don't care. Absolutely. So anyways, Trey said, forgive or will not be forgiven. Jesus says, absolutely. And Curtis, my friend, said this, true, Trey. Yep, absolutely. Let's see. And then I don't know, again, I'm not going to even mention the comment down below Curtis's. Don't even respond to it. This is the ignorance and the stupidity that we have here tonight. It's fun and games. They get paid to do this kind of stuff. Just ignore it, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it was already knocked out, I believe, so we're not even going to give it any.
Yeah, I know.
But guys, I think the key takeaway tonight is just to stay on topic is, this information is out there. Yes, it takes time to research. Yes, it takes time to do things. But we have to educate ourselves in order to survive this very, very corrupt world we are living in.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tammy, for that. I appreciate that. And another powerful message right there from Orphan Annie. Thank you to Orphan Annie for that message. I appreciate that. Well, again, guys, another insightful podcast. Again, if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, and you need to get a hold of me, please do now. voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. That's my email. Again, voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. Get a hold of me if you need to, and we'll hook up and we'll do what we can to help you if you need help or if you got questions, whatever it may be. We will try to do what we can and steer you guys in the right direction. For last couple.
Hey, I did put your email and my email in the chat for everybody.
Okay,
so they
perfect.
can get away with get a hold of us if we need to, okay?
Yep,
It's in the chat feature, guys. If you need to get it, you can screenshot it and write it down later, whatever you need to do.
Yep. Air Force One Heavy said, thank you for what you're doing, sir. God bless. Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much for your service, and thank you for what you're doing. And I hope to see you in our next live again. I think it's Orphan Annie. Yeah, Orphan Annie will tell you when we go live again. We'll be live Wednesday. I do shorts. I do a bunch of other stuff on my podcast here. So I'm glad you're here, and you got the notification bell turned on all. That way you'll get notified every single time I upload. It. So with that, we're going to go ahead and let's see what. Okay.
One for Trey.
Yeah.
Not two people out because I'm not going to tolerate people bullying other
people. It's a continuous immaturity. That's what it is. What it boils down to. I'm not even going to. Wow.
Don't acknowledge it.
I'm not even going to read it.
Just don't acknowledge it. Yeah.
I'll just say this. I'll say this. Don't forget to smile. All right. With that, Trey Stone said, for posting other people's personal info, you hate watchers were reported for terrorism. Absolutely. Thank you, Trey.
You can report them, and I did. Trey, you have a wrench. Curtis, you have a wrench. You're still free when people do things like that to immediately report and block them.
Yeah.
For hate speech.
So
hate speech.
Hate speech. Imagine that. Buy a shirt.
You can turn them into the FBI. You can turn in their email and their screen name.
Threats.
The FBI. They handle hate crimes, terroristic threats.
Threats. Yep. Absolutely.
Okay?
Threats against me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always got to be a superhero out here without the cape. We always have to have vigilantes.
That's the unfortunate thing about the internet right there is that people can hide behind their BS online.
Most of these people...
But they really can't because, let me tell you something, everything you type into a phone, electronic device, tablet, computer, whatever, can be traced. And they can find you, and they will find you, and you will get charged within the scope of the law. So there is such a thing to protect personal rights of individuals.
Yeah, absolutely.
You cannot come on here and threaten people and think that we're going to take it lightly.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, keep in mind, a lot of these people hide behind their computers. They hide in their mom's basement, eating a big bowl of Cheetos, sitting there running their mouth and, talking all this crap. But again, it's all crap. There's no bite behind their bark. So they're like a little chihuahua, ankle biters. They're just constantly barking. And I keep hearing it's, they're going to, I keep hearing that they're going to, do this and do that. And I'm still sitting here waiting for the first threat that ever came out towards me. It's funny. I mean, I was told that I was never going to make 50. Well, I'm 50. So where are you at? It's all scare tactic. It's all hype. It's all bull crap. Look.
Here's the thing for you guys, how I feel for you guys. They're ignorant.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
They're ignorant.
There's no education in here at all.
And I hate to stoop to their stupidity.
Oh, I know. So they love the attention, though. They love it.
Everybody.
They love the attention.
Yeah. So I don't like even giving them the floor.
I'm right there with Curtis on that one. Let them come to my door.
But like we're giving them attention. I don't want to do that because you guys are worth more.
Oh, I know. But I'm just, what we're trying to say, Tammy, is that I've heard it so many times. It goes in one ear and out the other. It's not that we're giving them attention. Yeah. It's so petty.
Because they're insignificant. Mm-hmm. They're insignificant in this world. What do they bring to the table? If you have solutions, I'll hear those all day long that are credible for a positive movement going forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so far, even the justice system can't get that crap right. So
obviously not.
Let's have open discussions about positivity and moving forward as a human race into something better.
Yeah, Orphan hit it right there.
Not evolving backwards. We're not in the Neanderthal phase anymore.
Keyboard warriors with no life.
Grow up.
And we're supposed to be adults in here. Adults don't act like this. Let's be honest. This is a safe place. If you guys don't feel safe, let me know and I'll fix it. But this is a safe spot to be. You guys can put your comments in here as like everybody else is, and it doesn't affect me. You guys can say whatever you want about me. It's not going to change the matter. It's not going to change my right to free speech. It's not going to change anything. I know what happened. All right. And I've already fully disclosed myself out there. So it is what it is. If you guys have been late to the party, it's not my fault. It is what it is. So with that, Air Force One, I got your 6 or any day. I'll take care of and send them my way. Absolutely. That's awesome. Thank you, sir. Curtis says, what?
He also said that it was a federal crime now.
It is.
That, so turn them in.
It is.
All you moderators on this channel.
Every
time somebody does that, take a screenshot of their name.
Save the chat, guys.
You can send it into the FBI, and you can send them a screenshot of what was said. Mm-hmm. They will find them, and they will deal with them.
Yep.
Because it's hate speech. It's a hate crime to threaten people. Terroristic threats.
And then people, and get this, Tammy, and get this. The people that are making all these comments are with all the hate speech. It's funny that I'm being told that my shirt is considered a violation of free speech.
I know.
Oh my God, you can't make this stuff up. But anyways, I can't remember. I can't remember when I had so much fun, but I can't stay in here any longer, guys. I know this is fun for you guys. I know you like to come in here and nitpick people and downgrade their downfalls and all that. But you're not going to stop me. I'm going to be here for a very long time. I'll be the one that dictates my life, not the haters. I will be the one that, holds up or folds up the towel or whatever, throws in the towel when I get ready to do so, not you. You understand that? When that comes to my retirement for being a prison activist, that's what I'm going to do. You don't get to dictate that move. As you guys can see on your screen, there's no strings on me and nobody's pulling the strings. I ain't nobody's puppet. All right. That's exactly what I can tell you right here live, unedited, that you don't see any strings on me. No one controls me at all, period. I do what I do in my life and that's it. And same with everybody else in the chat. Tammy, you got your own life. Curtis got his own life. I don't control you. And I don't. You guys don't control me, and the haters don't control me either. So each and every one of you can just,
I'm not giving anybody power.
No, I'm just telling. I already took their ammo. I already took their ammo away. I already took their ammo away. It is what it is, and it's too late that they missed the party.
I work my butt off every day and pay my taxes, and I do everything I got to do. Mm-hmm. And I help people, guilty or innocent, don't care. Listen, when let me tell you something. Guys, check out this site on Facebook. Any of you are on Facebook, Go look up T as in Tango, D Delta, J Juliet, C Charlie, TDCJ. Oh, I'm sorry, I said it wrong. TDCJ, Troll. TROLL. I want you to look up how many correctional officers are arrested for severe crimes, oppression. There have been 2 within the last couple weeks that are arrested. One was arrested and is going to trial soon. He's got a $600,000 bond. His wife was arrested.
Imagine that.
They allegedly, I'm going to tell you real quick, and then we'll get out. I'm so sorry. I got to tell you all this. Was allegedly their minor children were taken from the home.
Uh-oh.
Some were hers previous to them getting together, and some were after. And they were taken from the home because they literally were covered in bed bug bites and had, in multiple instances,
imagine that.
Once they got taken from the home, the children, the older ones, one of them reported of an incident, and I'm going to get very graphic now since we have to talk about how great. Listen, cop's daughter here, and I love my dad, but he was a good man. Not all cops are good. Not all COs are good.
Amen.
This CO allegedly was on top of one of the children.
Jeez.
If you feel me. And the mother came in there and said, why don't you do that to a real adult.
Yeah, imagine that.
And they went on, and he got off of said child and went into the other room with the wife or girlfriend or whatever she is, and they had adult time.
Oh,
He was trying to do adult time with the 10-year-old, allegedly.
Yeah.
And this is a person that's in the prison working, supposedly, to keep all the bad people that are in prison from harming someone.
yeah.
And he is doing this at home, allegedly. Guys, if you don't wake up and you believe and you want to drink
Good night, Curtis.
Kool-Aid, go ahead. Feel
Yeah.
free.
Yeah. It's,
But let me tell you, when you guys can come to me and say, all these people in there are good, you want to talk about the law enforcement officer that did this to this person and threaten and come in here and say that
Yeah.
stuff.
absolutely.
Bring me a judge with nothing in their closet. Bring me people with nothing in their closet.
Never
If
happened.
they want to divulge and let us walk into their house and
Yeah.
go through their phones,
Yep.
their computers,
Yep.
their any kind of social media,
Yeah.
and their personal lives and into their jackets and all of that and have no sting,
Yeah.
at that point, then I will eat crow.
Yeah.
But
Imagine,
until then,
Yeah.
shut up. Shut the hell up. I don't want to hear it anymore.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm done, Jay. I'm done.
Oh, you're good.
That's for you, Curtis.
Yep. That's for everybody that, that's for everybody that understands, but not
All
too
my
much.
people,
Yeah.
everybody here.
Yeah.
That's for all of you.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, guys, I appreciate every single one of you guys.
Right.
I appreciate you all being here. I really do. Much love and respect to you all, even the haters. Hi, haters. Thank you so much for being here, and thanks for stalking me, and thanks for putting me out there, and thanks for putting me out there under the bus and all that, because it's just free advertisement. I don't care. I really don't. It's not going to affect me one bit. I have to break the laws to go back to prison, and I'm not doing that, obviously. So it is what it is. And of course, right here, Air Force One said this when we'll back out of here. We all have skeletons in our closets. That's for sure. Absolutely. And then Gordon, here's more haters coming into the comment section. I'm not even going to give you the time of day there, sport. All right.
Thank you for sharing your screen name. We appreciate that.
Yeah, these are all throwaway accounts. These aren't what they do. They make these accounts. These are what trolls do. Trolls make these accounts.
They're still
Oh, I know that. I'm saying.
traceable.
Oh, no. I totally agree with you, Tammy. I totally agree with you, Tammy. What I'm saying in terms of.
The FBI has better equipment than they do, I promise.
Oh, absolutely. What I'm saying though, these are throwaway accounts. They'll make this, get rid of this one, make a new
I
one.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying that this is what they do. These are not even the
I
real.
agree with you, Jay.
Yeah, these are just channels to stalk. Yeah, they don't plan on making any content. These are just YouTubers that make an account to stalk me. That's all it is, because that's the maturity level they have. Anyways, and then we got new person in here real quick, but I got to bounce, guys. I've been in here over my hour. He says, "Hi, I'm new here. Hi, how you doing, Doe? I'm not sure who you are, but thank you so much for being here." But anyways, Trey said hi. Interesting. Okay. Well, anyways, guys, I appreciate every single one of you guys being here. It was another, what I would believe, anyways, very educational podcast, very insightful information. Again, guys, if you want any of this information, if you guys want any of this information that we showed guys on tonight's show, just let me know in the email, and I'll do what I can to email this information to you if you want it. Again, no obligations. All right. With that being said, I'm going to have to bounce out of here. Tammy, thank you so much for your hard work and what you do behind the scenes to help out this podcast. I really do appreciate you there too, Tammy. And we'll definitely go from there. But until then, you guys all have a great weekend. Much love and respect to you all. And we'll see you this coming Wednesday at 8 o'clock right here on our channel from Inside Out. With that said, I'm your host, Jay. You all have a great night. Take care. Peace.
Good night.